at the Cays Yacht Club. Happy to have you all here. Thank you everyone who's come up to me to ask for last minute announcements. It's my favorite part of the job. If we could have Kevin and Kenny come up here to do our inspirational moment and pledge. I'm having some microphone issues, so.
All right, we can do it duet. All right, this is only a test. All right, this works really well. I saw Phil Donahue doing this many times on TV. Just walk around. Okay, can we put that picture up? Is it possible? Okay, here we go. Wandering around Coronado, walking the dog, and walk by Coronado High School. Here comes the inspiration. So there's this mural artwork on the side of the north-facing wall of Coronado High School, and there's this great-looking mural, and say, what's this all about? Then it says, per aspera ad astra. So, say, let me look this up and see what this is all about. To the stars through hardships or rough times. Figurative meaning, it is a popular reminder for individuals to stay focused on their dreams and goals, even when facing tough times, because these struggles are often the path to ultimate success. Very cool for our young people in high school, and for all of us over 70 crowd. I always like to use and quote the great movie director, writer Woody Allen, who says that 80% of success is just showing up. So thank you everybody for showing up today. And now, for the pledge of, I'm dropping pens here, allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, oh yeah, that's my pen. Thank you. I'm going to take that. Dan Orr is going to introduce our visiting Rotarians and guests. Nice hat.
Okay. First, dummy up, you guys. Listen up. We have a Rotaract member visiting us from the SCSU, Zachary Alvarez. And then we have, well, his classification is visiting Rotary member. From Santa Monica, Steve Weaver. Okay, now for the challenge. We have positive behavior support from the Feng Zing Rotary Club. Pei Chun Lin. Okay, now we have a teacher from, I pronounce that?
Ching Lin.
Yes.
Yeah?
Hi.
Hello.
We have one more. We have a teacher from the Feng Shen South Club, Yu Chung Sung. Okay.
Hello, everybody. 你好. 你好 is Mandarin. How are you? We from Taiwan. This is our family. But Rotary is our good big family because next year, 2026, International Convention will held in Taiwan. So, welcome everybody, and we do have a special activity. Tara?
Hi everyone. Do anyone of you play tennis here? Right. So I'm here to represent the International Tennis Fellowship of the Rotarian. So we're a club in the House of Fellowship, and we usually will have a tournament in wherever the international convention will be. So next year will be Taiwan, and we are going to host the tournament in Kaohsiung. So, and before the convention, 4 days before the convention. So if you are planning coming Taiwan earlier, you can either sign up for the tournament or you can just visit Kaohsiung and contact me or us, and we will give you some introduction through the South Taiwan. So it's also a beautiful city. We don't want people just recognize Taiwan as Taipei. We also love to everyone to know that whole Taiwan is beautiful. Thank you.
Now, we finished back there? Guess the Rotarians are in my left, your right. Carol?
I would like to introduce our guest, who's here with our speaker today, Stephen Webb. And if anybody needs a reliable plumber, come get his card, because he just opened a plumbing business, and I said, every woman needs a plumber in her life.
President Natalie, fellow Rotarians, it is my pleasure to introduce once again my guest, Howard Herbert, who has been approved for membership.
Last shot, Tom. Put a fork in me.
Thank you, Dan. Suzanne?
For the very last time, introducing my special guests, Sandy and Brian Lehmkuhler. They're going to be inducted today.
All right, so thank you all for finding us and visiting. It is our club's 100th birthday this year, and I've been highlighting something that happened 100 years ago. I'm a little late on this one, but I liked how it applied better for today. 100 years ago, on July 15th, 1925, a petition with 460,000 signatures was presented to the German parliament, demanding a nationwide alcohol ban. Inspired by the US prohibition, activists in Germany saw the American model as a successful way to fight alcoholism, crime, and moral decay. Unfortunately for these activists, but fortunately for a lot of us here, the push for prohibition never passed. And just months later, Oktoberfest returned to Munich after a 2-year pause, with beer flowing as strong as ever. In honor of Oktoberfest all around the world starting up, I wanted to highlight one specific individual in our club who I know for a fact is appreciative of this decision. Rick Wilcoxon. You've been to Oktoberfest a time or two, is that right? 3 times. In honor of that, you stay right there. You don't need to come up because I have something delivered to you right now. Prost. All right, so around town last week, Luann brought a group of Red Badgers to Club 33 so they can visit and check off some Red Badge items. The Rotary 100 banners are up on Orange Avenue if you haven't seen. And we had a visit to Ensenada with Tim Cusick, Sarah Sheverton, and Jean Marie Bond to visit Limbs of Freedom. We'll be hearing a bit more about that in a couple weeks because, as you can tell, I am busy today. The next order of business, did you get those pictures up for everyone? Yep. All right, where's Chris Jones? We have a Who Am I? You ready? Sure. Come on up, let's hear about Chris. I bullied him into doing his Who Am I this week because I thought I was short on items to get through. And he was very excited to be doing this before even doing his Rotary 2.
How much time do I have?
You got like 2 or 3 minutes. I do too.
Yeah. Okay, President Natalie, fellow Rotarians, I am Chris Jones. My Rotary classification is military/technical management, and I'll briefly explain that later. So in early life, I was a military brat. My dad was civil service for the Air Force and then the Army. We lived in the LA area with my two younger sisters, until I was age 7. And then we lived in Japan, Okinawa, Indiana, Washington State, and West Germany, where I graduated from high school. Seems I always had a part-time job growing up: babysitting, mowing lawns, paper route, pumping gas, and food service. And there were a couple others in there wouldn't be able to hire kids for these days. Organized social activities and sports were not part of our lives, although I sort of played junior varsity baseball one year. Sort of. After high school, I enlisted in the Navy with the plan to go into nuclear power in submarines. I qualified for everything the Navy had. However, medical screening and boot camp determined I was too red-green colorblind, which disqualified me for anything technical, including submarines. Side note, my mother is also colorblind, which is very rare. So, based on needs of the Navy, I became a commissariman, which is a Navy cook. I knew I didn't want to do that forever. In the meantime, I'd married a high school sweetheart and had 2 kids, so I decided to re-enlist and change to the personnelman rating, which is like the HR and more for enlisted sailors. Through challenging assignments, I advanced to Chief Petty Officer quickly and was looking to do more. So here's that brief explanation. The Navy and Marine Corps have what's called, commonly known as Mustang officer programs, where senior enlisted compete for commissioning as chief warrant officers or limited duty officers, taking their learned technical skills to new levels of leadership and management as naval officers. So the CWOs, they are technical specialists, and they'll often have repetitive assignments, and we have at least one former CWO. I met him today, Brian, in here somewhere, okay? And then the LDOs are technical managers. That's my classification. They have increasing levels of responsibility and authority as they go through the Navy. So just under 12 years of service, I became a commissioned line officer, LDO administration, and a bunch of new opportunities opened for me in the personnel, pay, and manpower areas, as well as keeping the Navy's administrative wheels turning. My jobs and experiences range from a quality assurance inspector to an XO, CO, aircraft carrier department head, and 2- and 3-star admiral staffs in the U.S. and the Far East. My personal life was reset, quotes, early in this part of my career, and I missed out on much of my kids' lives since they were in the Seattle area and I wasn't. So the Navy brought me to Coronado in the year 2000, and Linda, whom I'd met years earlier in Japan, joined me. We married at St. Paul's United Methodist Church, which is represented here, and which is where I met several Rotarians over the years. My small but growing extended family is in the Seattle area and also in North Dakota. And great-grandchild number 2 is due in May. So we don't see enough of them. So I retired from the Navy in 2006 after 35 years of active service and went on to a civilian position working for a Navy command across the bridge, managing user access and security into a new program they have. I ended that gig 3 years ago and consider myself retired, although I do still work as a vote center poll worker when the need comes up in the county. Recreationally, in the past, I've scuba dived, golfed, bowled, played softball, and sailed. Now it's some sailing, zooming in our racing orange Miata sports car, you may have seen it out front, traveling, snorkeling, working out, wine, and food. And plan to do more of it when Linda retires in the near future. So joining the greatest Rotary Club in the universe is my avenue. It's my avenue to continue helping others and our community. I wish I'd made time to do it years ago. And that's who I am, the Reader's Digest version. That was the end of that time.
Yeah.
Probably 3 months or something. Okay, so my 91, almost 92-year-old mother and my sisters live in Bremerton, Washington. And during COVID, Linda and I bought a small condo nearby so we'd have our own place for longer visits and working remotely. So two days after my Rotary induction, I knew I was going up there. That was in August. I reached out to the Bremerton Rotary Club to attend their Monday lunch and to swap mini banners, which I did on August 18th. When I mentioned this to President Natalie, she asked if I got a photo. I had not. So when I was up there again this month, we reenacted the exchange. The exchange for the photo. So with me is the immediate past president, Karen Sawyer Meehan, who led the initial August 18th meeting. And now I present this Bremerton Rotary Club banner to our club. Yay! Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Wasn't too hard, right? Give it up for Chris, everyone. And now that we got to meet a new member, next we are going to bring 2 new members into our club. If Sandy, Brian, Suzanne, and Tom would come up here. Just a couple quick announcements while everyone's getting up here. Come on up. We have an alt meeting tomorrow, correct, Kathy? Yes, tomorrow. We have a social with a guest bartender on Friday night. And we have an ice cream social coming up, which we'll hear more about next week.
Well, I got to tell you, inducting these folks, many of you already know them well. They are just simply awesome. That's the only thing I can say. So, let's get on with the program. Okay, President Natalie, fellow Rotarians and guests, the induction of new members is indeed an opportunity to welcome very special people into our club. So I would like to ask their sponsor, Suzanne, to give us their classification, and that's what we need.
Their classification is warrior service, and boy do they do that. Warrior support service. I knew it was something with S.
You know, I have to work with Suzanne. I was her president-elect. So. Okay, now, so Sandy and Brian, we welcome both of you into the best Rotary Club in the Here we go, which is linked to our global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving this world. Our club thanks you for your willingness to share the value of service and fellowship in Rotary. A new member in our club needs fresh ideas, or old ideas we love, new enthusiasm and greater fellowship, which leads to outstanding service. One of your major goals in this club is service above self, which means participating by saying yes when asked to serve, hence becoming part of our amazing people of action. So, I only have one question. What motivated you to join Rotary?
I'll speak for both of us. I'll share with you very quickly many years ago, and I knew back in 2005 pretty much that we wanted to join this Rotary group when the time came. So the chapter with Warrior Foundation is coming to not that it's closing down and not that it doesn't need you, but I am going to be stepping back and let a younger gentleman named Andrew Gasper kind of be the captain of the ship. Many years ago, I had a warrior come home, and we had a lot of battle injured then, and he called me up one night on a Friday at 3 in the afternoon and said, "Ma'am, I tried to get a hold of the VA, and they can't see me for 2 more weeks. I have gangrene." He was a double amputee. I knew it probably wasn't gangrene, but there was something going on with one of his legs. And I knew it was more up here, but that warrior would be freaking out all weekend thinking he had gangrene. I called Dr. Pedrati. Dr. Pedrati said, "How far away is he?" I said, "Fallbrook." He said, "Bring him in," knowing it was a Friday rush hour. Short story here. Dr. Pedrati took him in. Indeed, it was not gangrene, but in his mind, it was gangrene. And so he talked to him, Navy to Marine. He talked to him, officer to enlisted. He calmed this gentleman down. And I said to Dr. Pedrati, how much will it be for the foundation for payment for your time? He said, oh, I'll send you a bill. Never got the bill. I knew then that you guys were the type of people that were going to support our warriors forever. That's what helped us to decide your club was the one we wanted to join.
So Brian, I know you're just obeying like you're supposed to. That's really good, yeah. So it is with great pleasure and on behalf of our board of directors, all our members, that we welcome you as the newest member of the Rotary Club of Coronado. Suzanne, would you give them their Rotary pins? It's pretty strong, isn't it? You're not going to lose it, I'll tell you. All right, would everyone stand and welcome our newest Rotarians in Colorado.
Thank you both so much and congratulations. You're not going anywhere. You're staying up here. This is very special. I wanted to do this at the same time. If you want to join our club, this does not happen for everyone. Sandy and Brian were, the Warrior Foundation is one of the recipients for our Low Tide Ride and Stride. And unfortunately, Stephanie and John could not be here today to present it, so I will present the big check. We raised $20,000 for Warrior Foundation, and I wanted to present this to you today. And Sandy and Brian are going to speak a little bit about what this $20,000 is going to do for the Warrior Foundation, and they have a couple slides up here, so I'll have you take it away.
He's going to find the big ATM machine. So if you want to, there we go. So I wanted to share with you very quickly, because I know we have a busy agenda. You guys have been part of our foundation, an instrumental part of our foundation for many of our warriors, just like Isaac Blunt with the gangrene. You guys have helped over the years, year after year after year, not only with a check, but by providing our warriors a chance to be in the 4th of July parade, the wheelchair basketball team, by providing our guys with the ability to be in the ride and stride. Occasionally, our warriors have been in the golf event that you guys hold as well. You guys are so much a part of their well-being besides being giving us a grant. So I just wanted to let you know, you all have helped to provide one of the cottages that is at Freedom Station 3. And the Coronado Rotary is listed right on the signage here. And this is a porthole because Freedom Station 3 is modeled after a ship. And we had a little tour and everybody got to come and see the cottage that you guys have provided. Our nonprofit provides $800,000 a year in an offset for rent for our warriors who are chosen to live there. It is an 18 to 24 month program. It's a wraparound program. It helps them get jobs, dress for success, go to events, network with people such as you. We have a barbecue once a month at one of the locations. I can get invitations to you all to come and meet some of the warriors who have helped. But the interior of our cottages is absolutely beautiful. The parade, some of the other events that you guys all help with. I have placed brochures on the front, on the tables. And the gentleman that's on the front of that table is actually a San Diego warrior who now resides in Florida because he's paralyzed from the neck down. His mother held his hand while he signed the document allowing us to use his likeness back in 2010. Back in 2010, when I needed help for this warrior, I called Suzanne and Walt Heineke. And you guys have been with us that long. If you have any questions, we'll be around, and we're going to be excited to be Red Badgers, so we'll be around and can answer any questions. But the biggest thing we do, and we're going to have this fundraiser on November 6th, and we need help, is we're going to fly the warriors home for the holidays. So every one of our warriors can wake up in their own bed, in their own state, with their own family. Come and help us answer phones. Thank you very much.
Thank you both so much. Bob, I didn't forget ya. I told you you'd be at the end. It is Santa time, everyone. Sorta.
Great job, Sandy.
Thank you, President Natalie. With all the joyousness that's going on here, I feel that like I probably should have gone first, and we could crescendo up to all the real positive stuff that's happening. And while this is positive, it has a note of sadness. First of all, I want to say hi for Ron Vernetti to all of you. He and I went down to the food pantry today, and if you don't know, he's now living over in Frederica Manor, and he passes his best wishes on to you and looks forward to coming to the meetings. Santa, it's getting that time of the year, that's what I'm up here for. First of all, I'd like to ask everyone who's been a Santa, a reindeer, an elf, a driver, a dresser, or anything, please just stand so everyone else who's new to the club can see how many of you have been part of this wonderful, wonderful program. Thank you. Well, you'll never know who you're going to meet in Rotary life. And when you have an article in the paper that you're associated with Rotary, your neighbors will sort of say, oh, you're in Rotary. I said, yeah. Well, my neighbor approached me a couple years ago and said, you're in Rotary. Yeah, because there was an article in the Eagle. Thank you to the Eagle. And she said, well, here's a check for $5,000. I said, it's not made out to me. So I brought it in. And then the next year, she's going, how are things going? I'm going, this is pretty good. We're getting ready again for the Santas. And she looks at me, she goes, looks out her box, says, here's a check for $5,000. I'm like, wow. And that's all I can say about that, except she was going to be here today, and I was going to present her this plaque. I'm going to read the plaque first. Rotary Club of Coronado recognizes Joetta Ragland, Secret Santa 2025. This award is bestowed in appreciation of Joetta's support of the Rotary Club of Coronado's Rotary Santa program. Joetta passed away 2 weeks ago. She'll be missed more than for the checks. She was, as Suzanne knows too, a character in the Cays. Be careful when you say, is there anything I can do for you after someone's given you a $5,000 check? For the last 2.5 years, I've been taking her trash out to the curb and bringing it back. And more than once, I've had to fix her TV, which has 3 remotes. So I'm going to sign off now, but I want to say she will be missed, but she will never be forgotten. This plaque is going to her family. She will always be known as Rotary Club of Coronado's Secret Santa.
To introduce our guest. I get all my papers. Here you go.
Well, I learned about our guest speaker today when I was reading a column by Neil Centuria in San Diego Union Tribune. As you'll recall, he was here just about 3 weeks ago and talked about his book, I Did It, along with his wife. The article was about Defy Ventures, an entrepreneurial education program that serves people in prison. When I reached out to Neil to see if he would come speak about Defy Ventures, he responded that he'd rather have the real deal come and speak to us, Quan Huynh. And I'm going to tell you, Quan is the real deal. He has been described as a mighty warrior, a magician, and a mountain of goodness. He is the executive director of Defy Ventures in Southern California that serves numerous correctional institutions in our region, including the Richard J. Donovan Correction Facility, just a couple miles away in Otay Mesa. He leads initiatives that provide career readiness, entrepreneurial training, and personal development for incarcerated people. He's a graduate of the Harvard Business School's Executive Education Program in Nonprofit Leadership. And he's also the founder of several companies, including Jane Janitors Incorporated, among others. But more importantly, Quan served 20 years in California correctional institutions for a crime that he committed when he was much younger. Quan has agreed to share his story with us today, and I am truly grateful that he's willing to do that. But more importantly, he's going to share with us the wonderful work that Defy Ventures does, and that has made such a huge impact on people who have, for one reason or other, ended up in prison. So Quan, please join us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon now. I guess so. First question: where were you in 2008? Anybody? Here. Here? Silicon Valley? San Jose? Okay, so this is where I was in 2008. I was serving. Oh, I'm sorry. I was serving a life. There I was. I was serving a life sentence at Solano State Prison. This was 2008. 2 years before that, two years before that, I was at Soledad, and right before that, I was at Richard J. Donovan. I was from 2002 to 2006. I was serving time at Donovan. Today, I'm the executive director of Defy Ventures. So we're a national nonprofit. We run a 7-month training program in the prisons, career readiness, personal development, and entrepreneurship training, and it culminates in a business pitch competition that's judged Shark Tank style. I'll show a video of what we do real quick.
At Defy Ventures, we believe in the power of second chances. Our mission is to shift mindsets, to give people with criminal histories their best shot at a new beginning. Our vision? To cut the recidivism rate in half by using entrepreneurship as a tool to create economic opportunity and life transformation. Inside Prisons, our signature program, CEO of Your New Life, guides participants through a 6 to 9 month journey that blends career readiness, personal development, and an entrepreneurial mindset. It's not just about skill building, it's about changing the way someone sees themselves and their future.
And that journey doesn't stop there. After release, we continue to walk alongside our participants through case management, job placement, digital literacy, mental health and well-being groups, and a powerful entrepreneurship pathway for those ready to build something of their own. Our Fair Chance Employment Network connects graduates with companies ready to hire them and champion their growth.
And the results speak for themselves. Defy's 3-year recidivism rate is under 15%. Compared to California's rearrest rate of 61%. Over 90% of our graduates are employed within 6 months of release. This is about more than reentry. It's about building a future where individuals can thrive, contribute, and lead.
If this mission resonates with you, we'd love to connect.
Together, we can break cycles of incarceration and unlock untapped potential in thousands of lives.
Let's defy the odds.
Together.
Thank you. Okay, so quick numbers if you're a numbers person. Right now in the state of California, it costs $132,000 to incarcerate one human being for 1 year. Yep, $132,000 to incarcerate one human being for 1 year. $132,000 with a failure rate of, as you see in many studies, all the way up to 2 out of 3 will go back to prison within 3 years. Our program cost is less than $2,000 for one person to go through the program. For us to run it for 50 men or women out of prison, it's $100,000. That's our program cost, and we're able to affect California's rearrest rates like that. The other thing that you might not know is there is no line item budget for rehabilitative programs in the state of California's prison system. That's why we're in existence. I think, can we go to the video where it says why I do the work? I think we just do that.
I do this work because I believe every human being is salvageable. Every human being has the capacity to change at any given moment. I have experienced firsthand the power of transformation and the possibility for redemption, both in my life and in the lives of the entrepreneurs in training we serve. I do this work because every day I am reminded that I can do my part to make an impact in this world and make it a better place. I do this work because I know I am making a difference. This year in SoCal, we served nearly 500 EITs, and next year we are due to serve more EITs than ever before. Defy's community of supporters is so vital. It can change lives. It changed mine, after all. Thank you for believing in second chances and the human capacity to change. I am the CEO of my new life.
I am the CEO of my new life.
I am defying the odds.
I am defying the odds.
I have already won just by being here today.
I have already won just by being here today.
I will succeed.
I will succeed.
Succeeding feels good.
Succeeding feels good.
I'm a proud Defy EIT.
I am a proud Defy EIT.
Can we get a level 10 clap for each other right now?
Okay, so, yes, so I went to prison for murder. I shot and killed a man by the name of Manuel and tried to shoot and kill his 3 friends. And I was tried for the death penalty. I was guilty of it, but because I lied at trial, I coached witnesses, I got rid of evidence, I was found guilty of second-degree murder, which at the time still meant a death sentence in the state of California, because they were not paroling any lifers. That's why I do the work. So in prison, when I first went in, I was still very angry. There was really no sense of personal responsibility for myself. I was just still living, I told myself, yeah, it was a gang crime. I was in a gang, they were in a gang, it was my life or theirs. That's how I justified it. It wasn't until many years into my sentence where things began to shift. And then I went to my first, I was a graduate of Defy, but I went to my very first Defy event, and it was at that event that everything for me shifted. How many of you here go to hot yoga? Anybody here go to hot yoga? Okay. So you know, so in hot yoga, it's hot yoga, yeah. So you know how it's really stifling. You're working out in it, and then I'm tired, and then they open the doors, and that fresh, cool air flows in. That's how it was for me when volunteers walked into that first event at a Defy event, the coaching day. Like, it was a bunch of Googlers and a bunch of people from the tech industry. They came in, and their colors, their smiles. So that was like when I see volunteers like you, I come into prison with me, I know what you can do when you, because that's shifted everything for me when it was in there, and somebody looked me in the eye and said, I believe in you, I believed in second chances, and that began to shift in me. I saw it begin to shift in all the men and women around me. That's basically what our program does, is we're there to not only teach the entrepreneurship skills, skills of grit, resiliency, being able to pivot, but being able to have people's believe or even hope of a better way in viewing or experiencing their incarceration, but more importantly, the future of what they can accomplish for themselves. A little bit of what I've been able to do since I've been home. I mean, I have a parole. I paroled in November 2015, so it's coming up on 10 years for me. I launched my first company 6 months after that. It's a commercial cleaning company. Still running to this day. I have 6 employees. 4 of them are also formerly incarcerated, but I tell everyone those are my best workers by far. During the pandemic, I did publish my memoir, Sparrow in the Razor Wire. It hit Amazon bestseller status because I had quite a bit of people in the Defy community support it. So that was a big win. Just last year, I partnered with Edovo, which is a learning platform and they promised me that they would not charge anybody that's incarcerated the digital rights to my book, and signed it. So overnight, 850,000 incarcerated men and women have access to my book, and those are the best letters I get now when people write to me and say, thank you for writing this letter. I've been able to attend Harvard Business School's Executive Leadership Program. So all of these things happened because somebody in the Defy community somewhere believed in me. So my thing to each of you is, if you want to find out more about our work, if you'd love to join us in this mission and help us continue to, with our movement and helping to make our community safer and also grant opportunities for those coming out of incarceration, I'd love to get you to join in the prison with us. Like even, it's an honor for me here to even have one of our grads that's here today with me, because I knew him when we first came home. So, and to hear that Steve's also opened his own plumbing company now. But yeah, so I'll open up if there's questions from the audience.
Hi there. Thank you for what you're doing. My daughter-in-law is a felony prosecutor in the Midwest, and she strongly believes in the rehabilitation of criminals. So what you're doing is incredibly important to even offer that potential. Not that it always works, but it's been proven in her eyes to work. My question for you is, do you have particular employers who tend to be more open to receiving your recent graduates? Can you talk a little bit about how the launch happens? And thank you.
Yeah, so that's, you're referring to Fair Chance or Fair Chance Employment Network. Typically, when we bring in volunteers, they're from the tech world, a lot of different founders. We have a lot of serial entrepreneurs, and then they'll usually come back and they'll say, hey, we want to start hiring your grads. So my pitch to them is typically, hey, I'm not here asking you to give a job to anybody. What I'm asking you to do is do your interviews and settle on the best possible candidate. If the best possible candidate happens to be one of our grads, my only ask is for you to either be willing to look past a criminal conviction or be willing to ask them, bring them in for additional questions and ask them. Because we call them entrepreneurs in training, or EITs for short. Our EITs are coached on speaking about their journey, owning their narrative, owning like the program's called the CEO of Your New Life. So it's the ownership of your choices and the ownership of your past mistakes, but then that's what we believe is what can still propel you into the future. So that's what we do. I mean, I've been able to, I was on the, I did a training to Amazon's HR team, their international HR team, to talk about this. I helped inform Tom's Shoes about their employee handbook and on Fair Chance hiring. So I've been able to do quite a bit of that in LA also for their Fair Chance ordinance. I sat on South by Southwest's Justice Tech Founders panel to talk to brand new Justice Tech founders about Fair Chance employment. So I've been given an opportunity to continue to help our men and women that are coming home.
You shared this with some of us at the table, and I think it's fascinating to tell, if you would tell about where you were born and your father and how you came to the United States, since we're a military community.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, like even in my book I say, like, I was not born a murderer. I was born in Vietnam. My father was part of the South Vietnamese Army, so he went to the military academy out there. He actually came to train here in the United States back in the 60s, so he knew what the lay of the land was here in the United States. So when we lost our country, my mom had never seen snow, so my father decided to settle us in Provo, Utah. So that's where I grew up. My brother and sister were born over there, and Utah is a beautiful, beautiful state. But I did experience what I did not know to be racism, and I think that I remember as a little boy just wishing, like, why can't my family look normal like everybody else? Not really understanding that, you know, that just my own identity issues, and that's what later led me into the gangs, what I believe. So my father got diagnosed with leukemia when I was 8, His condition began to get worse. Most of his family lived here in California, so that's why we moved out here to California. And he passed away when I was 13, and within a few years of that, I was arrested for the first time. I went down a pretty long path. Oh yeah, my father was at the military academy, so when he was in Utah, he created the Vietnamese Refugee Associations, which then a lot of government dignitaries used to come to our house. So as a little boy, they used to come talk to my dad, and they used to tell me, Quan, when you grow up, we want you to be just like your dad. And what little boy doesn't want to be like their dad? So they said, we want you to be the very first Vietnamese to go to West Point. And I said, yes, that's what I want to do. But obviously I didn't go to West Point. But, yeah.
Quan, we have a lady in town that started a thing called Reading Legacy. And it deals with going into the prisons, and it's connecting their children to the prisoners. I don't know if you've ever heard of her or not, but she's here in Coronado, so I thought you might be interested to hear about her.
Yeah, I'd love to be connected with her.
Yeah, I can give you her stuff. Betty Mullenbrock's her name, but wonderful lady, does so much. But I had a chance to visit your country, but it was in the air. In 1968, 69. It's a beautiful country. I was so amazed at flying over it, you know, and seeing everything. And it was a shame that it got where it did, but it's come back now.
Yeah.
It's really good. So thank you. And thank you for bringing this. What a program. Wow.
I have a question over here. Thank you for this program. I think it's fabulous. My question is it only open to people who are incarcerated, or is it open to those who have gotten out and still need support?
It's, I love this question. Yes, we have a virtual boot camp program for those that are formerly incarcerated, never had a chance to join our program inside, and are interested in building a business. So we do have a virtual program. So if you have people in your networks that may be interested in it, they can get onto our website.
Me? Thank you again for being here today. I'm familiar with Donovan. My husband's involved in the prison ministry there at Kairos. How many times a year do you do programs at Donovan, and what's been your participation rate?
First of all, I love Kairos. I remember I went to Kairos when I was at Donovan, so I was there. So our program, we can put 50 men or women at a time. It runs for about 7 months. It's a 2,000-page curriculum. Halfway point is a business coaching day. We bring about 50 volunteers in, and then it culminates in a business pitch competition that's judged Shark Tank style by volunteers for the graduation. Then we bring their families in. So we run about 3 cohorts every 2 years, because since it's a 7-month program, it's staggered. We just graduated our last cohort in April or May back of Donovan, but we're not going to be starting there until the end of this year or the beginning of next year. There's been a little bit of a boost.
Hi. Quick question, sort of a segue on recidivism. That's a very impressive statistic. And staying in touch with these folks has got to be a challenge. How do you guys go about that? Because you're all over the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So is it volunteers that check in, and what do you do if someone's in trouble? Do they reach out to you, or if you sense, if you contact them? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we have, every graduate that comes home is issued a Chromebook. That's where we begin with their digital literacy training, rebuilding credit after reentry. We have them become part of our post-release services. There's a very big community of volunteers that have come into Donovan with us that we run post-release services. Then the way that we track our numbers is we run annual background checks on all of our graduates that are home. That's how we are able to justify, like, this is how we can track a recidivism rate, because to see who's gone back in. We also have case managers that continue to do outreach. I mean, like, we have a lot of allies in the space, so it's like, let's say somebody needs help with housing. We just got a grant this year this year we're going to start distributing first and last month's rent to help transitioning men and women coming out of prison. We have fair chance employment people that will hire them. Then we also have other volunteers that listen. We have hikes. We have just community events where we just continue to build a community. So that's the way. That's how we try to. I mean, I was working in post-release for years. I mean, that's the best part of my job is to be able to tell a man or woman, like, welcome home, like, what can I do to serve you? And they're like, they'll usually call me and say, hey, I've been struggling with this, so that we have mental health and well-being classes that can help with people, and therapy. We have partnerships with Better Up that can help to give them therapy if needed. So we're trying to continue to build and bridge gaps for each of them.
You said that at least if I understood you correctly, that the Department of Corrections does not fund any programs such as this. What is the primary funding for yours and other programs that are similar?
Yes. So there is no line item budget in the California prison budget for rehabilitative programs. Some years they'll have, like, okay, last year they had what's called the Rights Grant, which was a $20 million one-time grant that they'll give to community-based organizations that are doing this work in California's prison. So I think it was split up between like 80 or 90 community-based orgs. So we got about $200K out of that. We have been pushing with these other community-based orgs to ask the California Correctional Peace Officers Association for just 1% of the California prison budget. I think it's something like $14 billion. So we just asked them for 1%, and it was like, no way. So most of our funding is pretty diversified. We used to have quite a bit of corporate funding up in LA, but because of the wildfires last year, a few of our corporate funders have shifted their giving priorities. So this year, most of our funding is going to come from foundations. Like 40% of, I would say 40% of the money I raised this year is foundations, about 20% corporate, another 15% is that state government that we're able to get for, and the rest is from individual donors and philanthropists. I mean, I guess it's better to be diversified anyway. We don't have any federal funding.
You do one more.
Is there any way that the state can change that? In other words, you said there's no line item, you're getting it from 40% here, 20%. Is there a way, anything that can be done to, I guess, force the state of California? Is there a way to get you what you need? We need to have that secondary going from prison mentality back into the civilian world, transitional help. And I was just wondering is there a state person we might write to? Any help you can offer?
Yeah, I love this question also. I mean, I've invited state assembly people into prison with us. I've invited quite a few of the senators, but nobody's really stepped into it, so we don't have exact. If you have people in your network that have connections to the state, to any of these people, I would love that warm introduction to invite them to see our work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience with the IT stuff. Thank you, Joe. He's the only one who'd be able to get that video up. And Bob, you are not the only one with some sad news. Hate to end it on this note, but Carrie Seigenthaler, her dog Sully, passed away. So if you guys see her, please give her your best wishes. We already sent a card. And then also past President Locke Vedder is having a service on October 5th, and we will get that information out in the co-rotator. I do have Steve Weaver and our friends from Taiwan to come up and do a quick little banner exchange. Come on up. We have one banner, and so we're be sending Steve one. We can do it like this, yeah. Little photo op. Thank you so much. I'm gonna send you one. I'm sending you one. All right, do you guys want to get a picture right up here? Come on over here. everyone to have a great Wednesday. I almost got everything in.